Good news, guys! We've made it through the revising process. And now, today, we're moving on to the next step, which is called editing. Editing is when we want our paper to look nice. When we were revising, we wanted our paper to sound nice. And you know what? During the revision process, I even told you to not worry about the way things look. I told you to not worry about spelling or punctuation or grammar. But today, we're going to worry about those things. Today, we're going to focus on them and do our very best as third graders. You want to know a little secret? Even parents, even Mrs. Coochie, and even your teacher sometimes struggles with the way writing looks. And today, we're going to give you the tools to be able to figure that out so you can start to edit in your very best own way. So, I'm going to start by showing you the editing checklist. Here is your editing checklist. You will find this in your packet. And the first part of the editing checklist, the title, introduction, transition, reasons, and editing or ending, are all things we focused on in the revision process. So I could even write that. We focused on revising in those areas. Today, we are focusing on where it says paragraphing. This is the editing that we need to do in our paper. So right here, all of these things right here, paragraphing, capitalization, spelling, and punctuation are going to be the important things that we need to look back on to make sure our paper looks nice. So with paragraphing, it starts by asking you if you have 4 paragraphs. You're going to look for an introduction for your first reason, your second reason, and your conclusion. So I brought my paper along to show you. Here's one paragraph. However, I forgot to indent, so I'm going to go in there and I'm going to make this editing mark to remind me that at the beginning of my paragraph that I need to indent there. And the way you indent on a computer will be to push tab. I have another reason, and that is my second paragraph. And again, I did not indent, so I am going to want to put that little backwards P symbol there and down here, because here is my third paragraph where it starts another reason. And that'll remind me that I need to make sure that I'm indenting. And then finally, we're going to look at the conclusion. Look at that. I started to kind of do it, but I better remind myself. So I'd rather do that than forget when I'm actually typing it out. So there I go. I've made some editing marks there to make sure I had my 4 paragraphs. Now, the next thing says I indented at the beginning. Well, I just made those marks on my paper to make sure I did. So then what I would do there is I would say, yep, I did that. And I would cross that off. Okay. Then I need to look for capitalization. I need to look for the first letter of every word in my title to be capitalized. I need to start each sentence with a capital letter. And when I stands alone, I need to be capitalized. This is going to take me one read through. So I'm going to have to go back to my paper and I am going to have to read through the entire first paragraph and make sure that every sentence starts with a capital letter. If it doesn't, let's say like this I, it's standing alone and it wasn't capitalized, I could put 3 lines under it. I call that a booster to make that I be capitalized, okay, as a reminder. So we want to make sure we do one read through to make sure that's happening. Once I have everything capitalized the way it should, I would mark that off in my editing sheet. Then I go to spelling. I asked someone to read my essay to make sure it made sense. So you do want somebody to go through your paper and read it to make sure that you're not forgetting words that are like easy words like a or the, because sometimes that happens when we're just getting our ideas down on paper. And then you're going to want to use the spell check when you are typing this out, because there will be a red underline whenever you spell a word wrong. If you want to locate some of your spelling in your writing, like let's say I spell, liberty wrong, you can always circle it to show that spelling might be spelled wrong. Then after you're done with that, you would cross this off. The last thing you're going to do is you're going to go back through again and reread for punctuation. So this would be about the third time you read through your paper. You're going to look to see if you use commas when there was a list of 3 or more things. You're going to use end punctuation after every sentence. And then if you used a quote, you would want quotation marks in your paper. So you've got to go through that paper and you've got to look and make sure that you didn't forget those punctuation marks anywhere. And sometimes your punctuation is going to be an exclamation point. Sometimes it'll be a question mark. So maybe you have the wrong punctuation and you need to put the right one in. Once you're done with that, you'll X that off and you're done with editing. And the last step to the writing process is publishing. So you're almost done with your paper for your Michigan essay. So good luck. I hope it goes well, and use that editing checklist to help you.